The sky above Seoul turned bright with strange lights. Giant ships appeared in space around Earth. They hung there like metal birds waiting to attack. For 3 days, the ships stayed in the same place. They sent messages to Earth in every language humans spoke. The message was simple and clear: surrender or die. Commander Ji-hoon stood on top of a tall building. He watched the sky change colors from the alien lights. The building was the center of Earth's defense system. Ji-hoon had been a soldier for 15 years. He had fought in many wars, but he had never seen anything like this. The aliens called themselves the Concordat. They said they controlled 47 different alien species. They ruled over 12,000 worlds across the galaxy. Lieutenant Minji ran up to Ji-hoon. She was breathing hard. Her face showed fear and anger. She held up her wrist to show him a small screen. Red dots appeared all over a map of Earth. Each dot was an alien ship landing. The aliens were coming down in every big city on the planet. They are landing now, Minji said. Her voice shook a little. Every major city at the same time. They are not hiding what they want to do. They want us to see their power. Ji-hoon made his hands into fists. He understood the alien message very well. Humans would become slaves. The aliens would take everything Earth had. They would use humans like tools. If humans said no, the aliens would destroy cities from space. The message was clear: obey or die. But the aliens made one big mistake. They thought humans would give up without a fight. Deep under the building, General Dae-hyun sat in a dark room full of computers and screens. He was 63 years old. His face had many lines from years of war and stress, but his eyes were sharp and clear. He studied the alien ships on his screens. He looked at every detail. He had survived 3 wars in his life. He knew how to fight when things looked bad. "Tell me what you know," Dae-hyun said. His voice was calm and cold. Dr. Hyejin stepped forward. She was the smartest scientist on Earth when it came to alien technology. She had been studying the alien ships for 3 days. She touched a button and a picture appeared on the big screen. It showed how the alien shields worked. Their shields use a technology we have never seen before, Hyejin explained. Our laser weapons cannot hurt them. Our missiles bounce off. They think we are primitive. Compared to their technology, we are like children with sticks and stones. What about their bodies? Dae-hyun asked. How strong are they without their machines? Hyejin smiled for the first time in days. That is the interesting part. Most of them are weaker than us. They come from planets with less gravity than Earth. Some of them need special suits just to walk around. They win through better technology, not through physical strength. Take away their machines and they are nothing. A small smile appeared on Dae-hyun's face. Then we make them fight without their machines. The first group of aliens landed in the city of Geneva. Their leader was named Ambassador Keyleth. He was 3 meters tall, but most of his body was made of metal and machines. Behind him stood 20 soldiers in powered armor. They carried advanced weapons. They looked at the human leaders with hate in their eyes. You have 1 day to give us control of your planet, Keyleth said. His words came through a machine that translated alien speech into human language. Your armies will stop existing. Your governments will follow our orders. If you obey, we will let you live. If you fight, we will kill everyone. President Yoon-ji stood up from her chair. She was 49 years old. She had started her life as a war reporter. She had seen death and destruction up close. She had worked hard for many years to become the leader of United Earth. Now she looked at the alien ambassador without showing any fear. No, she said. Just 1 word. The alien's translation machine took a moment to understand. Keyleth's glowing eyes focused on Eunji. He seemed confused by her answer. You do not understand, Keyleth said. His voice got louder. We have conquered thousands of worlds. Your weapons cannot hurt our ships. Your primitive technology means nothing to us. We have the power to destroy this planet. I understand perfectly, Yoonji said. She spoke slowly and clearly. You came to our home. You threatened our families. You told us to surrender. She leaned forward. Her voice became very quiet but somehow filled the whole room. I said no. All the lights in the building went out. Everything became dark. In that darkness, humans attacked. The aliens had spent months traveling to Earth. They had studied human technology. They had planned their invasion carefully, but they made one terrible mistake. They did not study human history. They did not understand how humans fight. Humans do not follow rules in war. Humans do whatever works. Humans had been fighting and killing each other for thousands of years. They knew every dirty trick. They knew how to win when the enemy was stronger. The aliens had powerful shields that stopped lasers and missiles. But human soldiers did not use lasers and missiles. They used poison gas that the shields could not stop. They used viruses made in laboratories. They used bombs placed in walls. They used their knowledge of Earth itself as a weapon. In Geneva, the alien soldiers suddenly could not breathe. The air itself became poison to them. Their armor began to fall apart as tiny machines ate the metal. The building started to shake and fall. Ambassador Kelleth tried to run, but his robot legs stopped working. He fell down. His translation machine made strange sounds as it broke. He could not understand how primitive humans with simple technology had defeated him. President Yunji stood over the fallen alien. Emergency lights made her face glow in the darkness. "You made a mistake," she said softly. "You thought technology was the same as power, but humans learned something long ago. The most dangerous weapon is not the most advanced weapon. The most dangerous weapon is the one your enemy never expects." All across Earth, the same thing happened. The aliens had put their forces in big cities. They thought this would make humans afraid to attack. They were wrong. Human soldiers came up from subway tunnels and sewer systems. They came out of empty buildings. They attacked from every direction at once. They used the aliens' confidence against them. They turned the cities themselves into traps. The aliens called for help from their ships in space. They wanted their ships to destroy the human cities. But humans had prepared for this too. When the alien weapons fired, they hit clouds of special metal dust floating in the sky. The deadly beams scattered harmlessly. They turned into beautiful lights instead of weapons. In the underground command center, General Dae-hyun watched it all happen. He saw the reports coming in from every continent. The aliens were losing. Their advanced technology meant nothing when they could not use it properly. "They came here with chains," Dae-hyun said quietly. "They wanted to make us slaves. But they forgot something important. Humans do not accept chains, we break them." The aliens learned their lesson too late. While they had spent thousands of years making better shields and stronger weapons, they had never fought an enemy that refused to play by the rules. They had never faced an enemy like humans. Sergeant Bora led her team through the dark tunnels under Geneva. These were old maintenance tunnels that most people had forgotten about. The team moved quietly and quickly. Each soldier carried weapons that would seem very simple to the aliens. They had chemical bombs, poison made from Earth's most deadly plants and animals, and tiny machines too small to see that could eat through alien metal. "Remember the plan," Bora whispered into her radio. "Their shields cannot stop biological weapons. They have never needed to protect against poison or disease. This is our advantage." Above them, the alien soldiers were learning what fear felt like. The virus hit them first. Human scientists had made it specially to attack the aliens' breathing systems. Then came the bombs. They destroyed the support beams that held up the building. The alien sensors had said these beams were not important, so they had ignored them. That was a fatal mistake. Finally, as the surviving aliens tried to reach their escape ships, they found the air itself attacking them. Tiny machines floated in the air. These machines were so small that the alien shields did not see them as dangerous. But these tiny machines destroyed the aliens' equipment bit by bit. Ambassador Kelleth took 3 steps before his robot body stopped working. He fell to the ground. His translation machine made broken sounds as it tried to understand what had happened. How could primitive humans with simple technology beat him? President Yunji walked over to where he lay. Emergency lights made shadows on her face. "You made a mistake," she said in a quiet voice. "You thought technology was the same as power, but we humans learned something a long time ago. The most dangerous weapon is not always the most advanced one. The most dangerous weapon is the one your enemy never sees coming." The same thing happened in cities all over Earth. The aliens had put their soldiers in the middle of big cities. They thought this would stop humans from attacking, because humans would not want to destroy their own cities. They were completely wrong. Human fighters came out of subway tunnels and sewers. They came from empty buildings and underground parking areas. They attacked from every side at once. In Tokyo, Captain Hyunwoo led his team in an attack that used the simplest weapon of all: gravity. The aliens wore heavy-powered armor. When Hyunwoo's team used electromagnetic pulse weapons to shut off the power, the armor became a prison. The aliens fell from the tall buildings they had taken over. The weight of their own armor crushed them when they hit the ground. In New York, Commander Jiwon used something even more clever. She sent thousands of small flying drones toward the alien base. The drones looked like normal commercial drones that people used for fun or for delivering packages. The alien sensors saw them and decided they were harmless. By the time the aliens realized each drone carried acid, it was too late. The acid melted their base into useless metal. The alien ships in space became angry. They decided to punish Earth. Fleet Commander Verith was in charge of all the alien ships. His species came from a planet with very strong gravity. He was used to being the strongest and most powerful. He gave the order to destroy human cities from space. The first beam of energy shot down toward the city of Mumbai. It was powerful enough to destroy the entire city in seconds, but it never reached the ground. Dr. Heejin watched from the underground command center. She smiled as her plan worked perfectly. For 6 months, while the aliens had been threatening Earth, human scientists had been working on a defense. They had put billions of tiny metal pieces in the upper atmosphere. These pieces were spread out and floating high above Earth. When the alien energy beam hit this cloud of metal, something amazing happened. The energy did not destroy anything. Instead, it spread out across all the tiny metal pieces. The dangerous weapon turned into a beautiful light show in the sky. The people in Mumbai saw colorful lights dance above their city. The weapon that should have killed them became harmless. They will try again, Heejin said to the other scientists, but every time they fire, it costs them energy. Their ships have limits. And we have something they do not have. General Daehyun nodded. Home field advantage. This is our planet. We know every mountain, every ocean, every city. They are strangers here. That gives us power. Over the next week, the pattern repeated. The aliens tried to use their superior technology. Humans found ways around it. When the aliens used heat sensors to find human soldiers, humans hid in cold water. When aliens used motion detectors, humans moved very slowly or used animals to trigger false alarms. When aliens tried to track radio signals, humans used old-fashioned methods like flags and lights to communicate. The aliens had all the best tools. But humans knew how to win without the best tools. Humans had been doing it for thousands of years. Every war in human history taught the same lesson. The side with better weapons does not always win. The side that wants to win more, that fights smarter, that refuses to give up, that side wins. In the alien command ship, Fleet Commander Varath looked at the reports. He could not believe what he was reading. His forces had lost 12,000 soldiers in 3 weeks. 37 ships had been damaged or destroyed, and they had not conquered a single human city. How is this possible? He asked his officers. We have technology that is thousands of years more advanced than theirs. We have weapons that can destroy planets. How are we losing to a species that still burns fuel to make energy? One of his science officers, a female named Melketh, had been studying human history. She had read about every war humans had ever fought. What she found frightened her. Commander, she said slowly, I think I understand the problem. These humans have been fighting wars for their entire history as a species. They fight with anything they can find. They never give up. They learn from every defeat and come back stronger. We are not fighting a primitive species. We are fighting a species that has spent 10,000 years perfecting the art of killing. She showed Varath pictures from human history. Wars fought with rocks and wooden clubs. Wars fought with metal swords and arrows. Wars fought with guns and bombs. Wars fought with airplanes and nuclear weapons. In every picture, humans were killing other humans. They had been doing it forever. They do not know how to surrender, Melketh explained. When we think we have beaten them, they find a new way to fight. They sacrifice themselves to learn our weaknesses. They turn their disadvantages into weapons. We are fighting a species that learned war before they learned peace. Varath felt something he had not felt in many years. Fear. His species had conquered hundreds of worlds, but they had never fought anyone like this. Most species surrendered when they saw the alien fleet. Some fought for a few days or weeks, but then they gave up. Humans were different. Humans seemed to get angrier the longer the fight lasted. On Earth, Lieutenant Minji prepared for the next attack. She sat in a bunker deep under the ground in Korea. This bunker had been built decades ago to survive a nuclear war. Now it served as the command center for Earth's counterattack. On the screens in front of her, she could see reports from every part of the planet. Every human military unit was ready. All teams report ready, she said into her microphone. We have studied their patterns. We have mapped their supply lines. We have found their weak points. Now we strike back. Commander Ji-hoon stood next to her. His face looked serious and determined. The aliens think they are fighting a normal war. They are wrong. We are going to show them what happens when you try to put chains on humanity. We are going to show them what humans do when someone threatens our home and our families. At midnight, exactly when the clock showed 12, humanity attacked. This was not like the earlier fighting. This was a planned, organized attack hitting the aliens everywhere at once. In space, on the ground, in the cities, in the oceans. Humans attacked from every direction using every weapon they had. The aliens had come to Earth thinking they would easily conquer a primitive world. Instead, they found themselves in the fight of their lives. And they were losing. The midnight attack changed everything. In orbit above Earth, 3 big alien battleships suddenly lost all their power. The lights went out. The engines stopped. The weapons stopped working. The ships began to drift helplessly in space. For weeks, humans had been sending tiny machines into space. The aliens thought these machines were just space junk, just floating garbage. They were wrong. These were weapons. Tiny robots so small you could not see them without a microscope. They had been slowly eating away at the alien ships from the inside. The aliens tried to fight back against these tiny machines. They used special programs to find and destroy them, but humans had designed the tiny machines to learn and adapt. Every time the aliens destroyed some of them, the survivors learned from the attack. They sent the information back to Earth. Within hours, humans launched new tiny machines that were harder to detect and harder to kill. It was evolution happening in fast motion. What normally took millions of years now happened in days. The tiny machines got better and better at their job. And their job was to destroy alien ships. On the ground, Major Suho led an attack that would become famous in human history. His mission seemed impossible. He had to break into an alien supply base and steal their computer data. The base was heavily guarded with sensors that could detect any human approaching. Suho found a clever solution. He and his team hid inside a shipment of Earth animals. The aliens were collecting samples of Earth's wildlife to study. The alien sensors scanned the shipment and saw only harmless animals. They let it into the base. What they did not know was that humans had spent hundreds of years changing and modifying these animals through genetic engineering. The harmless animals included wasps. But these were not normal wasps. Their poison had been modified to attack alien biology specifically. There were also spiders that made webs from special synthetic material. This material blocked alien sensors and jammed their electronic equipment. By the time the alien guards understood what was happening, Suho's team had already copied all their computer files. They had also planted bombs throughout the building. Suho and his team escaped through the sewers. Behind them, the alien base collapsed into rubble. Mission complete, Suho reported through his radio. He sounded calm even though he had just completed one of the most dangerous missions of the war. Target destroyed. No casualties on our side. Approximately 200 enemy soldiers killed. All data files secured. Dr. Hyojin nearly jumped with excitement when she received the stolen data. This was exactly what Earth needed. The files contained everything. Complete maps of the alien fleet organization, lists of supply ships and their routes, communication codes and passwords, battle plans for the next 6 months. This is incredible, she told General Daehyun. We now know everything about how they operate. We can see all their weaknesses. We can predict their next moves before they make them. General Daehyun studied the stolen information carefully. He had been a soldier for over 40 years. He had learned to see patterns in battle. And now he saw the pattern in the alien forces. They had one big weakness. Look at this, he said, pointing at a diagram. They control everything from one central command. All their ships, all their troops, all their supplies. Everything goes through one main computer system. It is very efficient for controlling a large empire, but it is also a huge weakness. If we can break that one system, their entire invasion force will fall apart. He turned to President Yunji. We can end this war, but it will take everything we have. Every soldier, every weapon, every resource. This will be our biggest gamble. President Yunji did not hesitate. Do it, end this war. Show them that Earth is not a planet that can be conquered. In space, Fleet Commander Varath called a meeting with all his top officers. Representatives from all 47 alien species attended. They were angry and confused. They could not understand how a primitive species was defeating them. They fight without honor, shouted Ambassador Threxon. His species looked like giant insects. They had evolved in hive societies where everyone worked together. They did not understand individual combat or guerrilla warfare. They poison us. They trap us. They use their own cities as weapons. They are primitives, Varath yelled back. He was frustrated and angry. We have ships that can destroy entire continents. We have shields that can survive a star exploding. How are we losing to a species that still burns fossil fuels for energy? The alien science officer, Melketh, had more bad news. She had been studying human military history in detail. What she found terrified her. Because they have been practicing war for 10,000 years, she said quietly. Look at their history. They have fought thousands of wars. They fight with anything they can find. Rocks, sticks, swords, guns, bombs, disease, poison, fire, even weather. They use psychology as a weapon. They use fear as a weapon. They use deception and lies as weapons. She showed them video footage captured from human history. Ancient battles where thousands died fighting with simple metal weapons. Medieval sieges where cities starved. Modern wars with tanks and airplanes. Nuclear explosions that destroyed entire cities. The aliens watched in horror as humans killed other humans in every way imaginable. They do not surrender, Melketh continued. Ever. When we think we have defeated them, they change tactics and attack from a new direction. They sacrifice their own lives to learn our weaknesses. They turn every disadvantage into an advantage. They are not a primitive species. They are a species that has perfected the art of warfare over thousands of generations. The meeting room fell silent. Many of the alien officers looked frightened. They had conquered hundreds of worlds, but they had never faced anything like this. Most species surrendered when they saw the Concordat fleet. Some fought back for a little while. But humans seemed to get more dangerous the longer the fight continued. Back on Earth, the final preparations were complete. Commander Jihoon walked through the command center checking on his people. Every station was ready. Every soldier knew their job. The stolen alien data had given them the key to victory. Now they just had to use it. Remember, Jihoon said to his officers.
The aliens think they are invincible because they have better technology.
But technology is not everything. Sun Tzu, an ancient human general, said that the best victory is to win without fighting. The second best is to win quickly. But we cannot do either of those. So we will do what humans do best. We will adapt. We will survive. And we will win. Lieutenant Minji looked at the countdown clock on the wall. 3 hours until the attack began. She felt nervous but also excited. Earth was about to launch its biggest offensive yet. If it succeeded, the war could end. If it failed, Earth might be destroyed. Are you scared? She asked Jihoon quietly. Jihoon thought for a moment before answering. Yes, I am scared. But I am also angry. They came here thinking we would be easy to conquer. They thought we would surrender without a real fight. They were wrong. And now they will pay for that mistake. Dr. Heejin worked at her computer station, making final adjustments to the virus they would upload to the alien systems. This virus was the key to everything. It would not destroy the alien computers directly. That would be too obvious. Instead, it would change what the computers saw. It would make the alien ships think that other alien ships were enemies. It is beautiful in a way, Hyejin said to herself. They built their entire civilization around standardized technology. Every ship uses the same systems. Every weapon uses the same codes. It makes everything efficient and easy to manage. But it also means one virus can affect everything at once. They made themselves vulnerable without realizing it. General Daehyun watched the countdown clock. 2 hours now. He thought about all the soldiers who had died in this war. Thousands of humans had given their lives to protect Earth. He would not let those deaths be meaningless. This attack would end the war, one way or another. President Yoonji addressed the world one last time before the attack. Her face appeared on every screen across the planet. People of Earth, she said, in 1 hour we launch our final offensive against the invaders. This will be dangerous. We may lose. But we will fight anyway. Because that is what humans do. We fight for our freedom. We fight for our families. We fight for our home. The aliens brought chains to Earth. Tonight we show them that humans do not wear chains. We break them. Across the planet, billions of people watched and waited. The countdown continued. 60 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. Zero. Humanity struck with everything they had. The surrender meeting took place in an unexpected location. President Yoonji chose a field hospital where wounded soldiers from both sides were being treated. Humans had captured many alien soldiers during the fighting. Instead of killing them or treating them badly, humans gave them medical care. This confused the aliens greatly. Fleet Commander Vareth walked slowly through the hospital. He saw human doctors treating alien injuries. He saw human nurses bringing food and water to alien prisoners. He saw young human children making drawings to give to the wounded aliens to cheer them up. None of this made sense to him. Why would humans help their enemies? President Yoonji met him in a small meeting room. She sat at a simple table. She looked tired. The war had aged her, but her eyes were still sharp and determined. "We are prepared to withdraw from your planet," Vareth said through his translator. His voice sounded flat and emotionless through the machine. But his body language showed defeat. Humans had learned to read alien body language from captured data. "We will leave Earth alone. The Concordat will mark your world as unsuitable for integration." Yoonji nodded slowly. "That is a beginning." "But it is not enough." Vareth's eyes focused on her with confusion. "You cannot make demands. We still have ships in orbit. We could still destroy your cities if we chose to." "Could you?" Yoonji asked softly. "Your fleet is broken. Your soldiers are afraid. Your supply lines are cut. Every day you stay here, we learn more about your technology. How long before we build our own starships? How long before humanity brings this war to your homeworlds?" The silence in the room became heavy. Vareth understood what she was saying. Earth had won, completely, totally. The Concordat was defeated. "What do you want?" Vareth asked finally. Yoonji showed him a document on a holographic screen. "First, you will pay for the damage your invasion caused. Second, you will teach us your technology. Everything. Shipbuilding, faster than light travel, energy weapons, all of it. Third, you will guarantee Earth's independence in writing. Your laws will protect us." She paused and leaned forward. Her voice became hard as steel. "And most important, you will free every species in your empire that was conquered by force. You will give them a choice. They can stay with the Concordat if they want, or they can be independent, but they must be allowed to choose." "Impossible!" Vareth protested. "The Concordat would fall apart. Centuries of careful organization would collapse. Everything we built would be destroyed." "Slavery," Yoonji said coldly. "You mean centuries of slavery? You came here to put chains on humanity. Instead, we are going to break the chains you put on everyone else. This is not negotiable. Accept these terms or the war continues." The negotiations took 3 weeks. The Concordat Council argued. They threatened. They tried to find other solutions. But finally they accepted. They had no choice. The alternative was continuing a war against an enemy that refused to follow any rules. An enemy that turned every weapon against them. An enemy that would never surrender. General Daehyun watched the alien fleet leave from the same command center where he had planned Earth's defense. The ships rose into the sky one by one. Soon they would jump to faster than light speed and disappear. Earth would be alone again, but not for long. "They will return someday," he said quietly to Dr. Hagen. "Maybe not next year, maybe not for decades, but eventually they will try again. They will want revenge." Hagen smiled, but it was not a happy smile. It was the smile of someone preparing for the future. "Let them come. By then we will have our own fleet. We will have our own weapons, and we will have taught every freed species how to fight like humans. The next time the Concordat tries to conquer anyone, they will face an entire galaxy that knows how to resist." Across the galaxy, news of Earth's victory spread rapidly. It traveled through the Concordat's communication networks faster than light. Species that had been conquered hundreds of years ago heard the story. A primitive planet had defeated the mighty Concordat. A species with simple technology had beaten an empire with advanced weapons. The word human became important in alien languages. It meant someone who never gives up, someone who fights against impossible odds, someone who refuses to wear chains. Rebellions began on conquered worlds. The Concordat's empire started to crack. 3 years passed. Earth changed dramatically. Using the technology the Concordat was forced to share, humans built their first faster-than-light starship. They called it the EDS Indomitable. Commander Jihoon was chosen to be its captain. His crew included humans and aliens who had chosen to fight alongside Earth, rather than remain under Concordat control. Jihoon stood on the bridge of his new ship. It was beautiful and powerful. Human engineers had taken alien technology and improved it. The ship was faster and stronger than Concordat vessels. Around him, his crew worked efficiently. They had trained for months to be ready for this moment. Lieutenant Minji, now his second in command, brought him a report. "Captain, we are receiving emergency messages from the Velcor system. The Concordat is trying to force them back into the Empire. They are asking for help." Jihoon did not hesitate. He smiled, but it was the smile of a warrior preparing for battle. "Set our course for Velcor. Maximum speed. And send them a message." "What should the message say?" Minji asked. "Tell them help is coming. Tell them Earth remembers what it feels like to wear chains. Tell them that humanity does not accept chains. We break them." The Indomitable jumped to faster than light speed. It disappeared from Earth's sky in a flash of light. Inside the ship, humans and aliens worked together. They were heading toward another war. Another fight for freedom. Another chance to break chains. Back on Earth, President Yoonji watched the ship leave. She was older now. The war had taken years from her life. But she felt proud. Earth had survived its first contact with alien life. Not only survived, but won. And now humans were going to help others win their freedom too. General Daehyun stood beside her. He was retired now, but he still came to watch important moments like this. "We changed everything," he said. "The galaxy will never be the same." "Yes," Yoonji agreed. "The Concordat thought they could conquer us with their chains. They thought we were weak because we had simple technology. They learned an important lesson. Technology does not determine strength. Will determines strength, and humans will never accept slavery." Dr. Hijin was already working on the next generation of human starships. She had teams of scientists and engineers working around the clock. They were designing ships that would be even better than the Indomitable. In 5 years, Earth would have a fleet. In 10 years, Earth might be one of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy. The aliens had made a terrible mistake when they came to Earth. They saw a primitive planet and thought it would be easy to conquer. They did not understand that humans had survived and thrived not because they were the strongest or the smartest or the most advanced. Humans survived because they never gave up, because they adapted to any situation, because they learned from every defeat and came back stronger. The Concordat had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. They had conquered species after species. They thought they were invincible. Then they met humanity, and everything changed. The message spread across the galaxy. It reached every conquered world, every enslaved species, every planet living under Concordat control. The message was simple and powerful. Earth had been tested with chains. The chains broke. Now the galaxy was learning a new truth. Humans do not wear chains. Humans break chains, and they will teach anyone who wants to learn how to break their own chains too. The Concordat sent chains to Earth thinking they would conquer a primitive world. Instead, they woke up a sleeping giant. A species that had spent 10,000 years perfecting the art of war. A species that never surrendered. A species that turned every weakness into strength. Now that species was reaching for the stars. And the galaxy would never be the same again. The attack began exactly at midnight. Across Earth and in space above it, human forces moved as one coordinated unit. They struck at the aliens from every direction at the same time. The aliens had never seen anything like it. Corporal Minho led a special team that focused on psychological warfare. Their job was not to kill aliens, but to break their spirit. They hacked into the Concordat communication network and flooded it with videos. These videos showed every human victory. They showed alien soldiers dying. They showed alien ships burning. They showed the faces of dead aliens. For the Concordat, this was horrifying. They had spent thousands of years conquering from space. They dropped bombs from orbit and never saw who they killed. Now they were seeing their own soldiers die up close. They saw explosions tearing aliens apart. They saw chemical weapons melting alien flesh. They saw Earth's gravity crushing aliens in their broken armor. Fear spreads like a disease, Minho explained to a younger soldier who did not understand the strategy. The Concordat thought they were invincible. Now they know they can die. And they know humans are willing to die to make it happen. That knowledge will spread through their forces. It will make them hesitate. It will make them afraid. And fear is the mind killer. In orbit above Earth, Fleet Commander Vareth faced a crisis he had never imagined. 3 of his ship captains were refusing to fight. They represented species that had joined the Concordat peacefully, not through conquest. Now they wanted to leave. They said the losses were too high. They said humans were too dangerous, we cannot retreat. Vareth shouted at them. His voice echoed through the command center. The entire galaxy is watching us. If we run away from one primitive planet, what will that tell everyone? It will show weakness. Other conquered species will rebel. Captain Torvin, whose species were peaceful plant eaters before the Concordat forced them to join, spoke in a quiet but firm voice. Maybe showing weakness is better than showing cruelty. These humans are not like other species. They do not fear death. They use death as a weapon. They are willing to sacrifice everything to protect their freedom. We should not have come here. Below, on Earth, the main attack was beginning. Captain Jamin led a squadron of spacecraft that humans had quickly converted for combat. These were mining ships, cargo haulers, even luxury yachts. They carried weapons that should not have worked against the alien shields. But humans had found another way. The alien shields could stop energy weapons and missiles, but they could not stop a ship from ramming into them at high speed. Jamin's pilots would fly their ships directly at alien vessels, then eject in escape pods at the last second. The unmanned ships would hit the alien vessels like giant bullets. 3 Concordat destroyers exploded in flashes of light, bright enough to be seen from Earth's surface. The alien forces had never encountered kamikaze tactics before. They did not know how to defend against an enemy, willing to destroy their own ships. But the real attack came from a different direction entirely. Dr. Hyejin had spent weeks studying the stolen alien computer systems. She had discovered something remarkable. The Concordat used the same technology for everything. Every ship, every weapon, every piece of equipment had similar computer systems. This made their empire easy to manage. It also meant they had the same vulnerabilities everywhere. One virus could affect their entire fleet. They built their whole civilization assuming no one would dare attack them, Hyejin had explained to General Daehyun. Once you understand how their systems work, everything becomes easy to break. It is like they gave us the keys to their kingdom without knowing it. Now, using the stolen communication codes, humans transmitted a virus to every alien ship at once. The virus was elegant and simple. It did not try to destroy the alien computers. That would have been detected immediately. Instead, it quietly changed what the computers saw. The virus made the alien computers think that other alien ships were enemies. Friendly ships suddenly appeared as hostile targets. The automated defense systems did what they were programmed to do. They fired on the threats. Concordat ships began shooting at each other. Fleet Commander Vareth watched in absolute horror as his fleet destroyed itself. Explosions lit up the space around Earth. Ships that had survived for centuries died in seconds. By the time the alien technicians found and removed the virus, 23 ships had been completely destroyed. 41 more were badly damaged. The invasion force that had come to conquer Earth was now crippled and broken. Their advanced technology had become a weakness. The systems that made them powerful had been turned against them. Commander Jihoon stood on the same rooftop where he had first watched the alien fleet arrive. Weeks had passed since that day. Now he watched the alien ships burn in the sky above Seoul. Debris fell like shooting stars. Each streak of light was a piece of an alien ship. Lieutenant Minji stood beside him. She looked troubled. "Should we feel guilty?" she asked quietly. "We have killed thousands of them, maybe tens of thousands. Does that make us as bad as they are?" Jihoon was silent for a long moment. He thought about the question carefully. "They came here to make us slaves. They brought chains and threats of destruction. We showed them what happens when you threaten humanity. We showed them what happens when you mistake our willingness to negotiate for weakness." He turned to look at her, his expression hard and cold. "No, I do not feel guilty. They started this war. We are finishing it. I feel victorious." In the underground command center, President Yoonji received reports from around the world. The alien forces on the ground were in retreat. Many were surrendering. Some were trying to reach their ships to escape. Human forces were capturing alien equipment and technology everywhere. General Daehyun looked at the tactical maps. Red markers showing alien positions were disappearing one by one. Green markers showing human-controlled areas were spreading. In 3 weeks of fighting, Earth had gone from being invaded to being victorious. They made a fundamental error, Daehyun said to his staff. They assumed technology equals victory, but history has shown us again and again that this is not true. The side with better weapons often loses to the side with better strategy and stronger will. They had the better weapons. We had the better strategy, and we definitely had the stronger will. Dr. Hyejin was already planning for the future. We need to study everything we captured. Every piece of alien technology is a lesson. We can learn to build our own starships now. We can learn to travel faster than light. In a few years, Earth will not be a primitive planet anymore. We will be a spacefaring civilization. President Yoonji thought about the cost of victory. Thousands of human soldiers had died. Many cities had been damaged. But Earth was still free. Humanity had proven something important. They had proven that advanced technology did not guarantee victory. They had proven that humans would never accept slavery. They had proven that sometimes the primitive species wins. In space, Fleet Commander Verath knew the war was lost. His fleet was shattered. His soldiers were demoralized. More ships were requesting permission to withdraw every hour. The Concordat Council was demanding answers he could not give. He sent a message to Earth. He requested a meeting with President Yoonji. He was ready to discuss terms of surrender. The mighty Galactic Concordat, conquerors of 12,000 worlds, was about to surrender to a primitive species that still lived on one planet. The news spread across Earth within minutes. People celebrated in the streets. They cried tears of joy and relief. They had survived. They had won. Earth was still free, but the war was not quite over yet. The hardest part still remained: making peace, and making sure the aliens never came back. President Yoonji prepared for the meeting with Fleet Commander Verath. She knew this was her chance to reshape the galaxy. The Concordat had come to Earth with chains. Now Earth would dictate the terms of peace. The galaxy was about to learn a new lesson: never underestimate humanity.